What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today, we are going to be doing 2022 NCAA Tournament Bracketology 11-9 as the season's starting today. Wow. I'm so excited for the season. And these are some of my favorite videos to make for you guys, honestly, is the Tournament Bracketology. So, yeah, let's look at what Joe Lendardi has for us. Top of we'll see Gonzaga. First team out, Mississippi State. Last team in, Washington State. And then on the bubble, we got last four buys, Florida, BYU, Colorado, St. Mary's. Then the last four in, San Diego State, St. John's, Rutgers, Washington State. Then the first four out, Mississippi State, Seton Hall, Iowa, Oklahoma. And then the next four out, Arizona, Drake, Nevada, and Creighton. So should be interesting to see how that bubble moves through our first week of college basketball. As Baylor, we obviously know, was the champion last year, and they're the 2 seed for this bracketology. So anyway, let's look at the first four with Texas Southern and Morgan State, new teams to the field. St. John's and Rutgers, new teams to the field. And you got Bryant, Nicholas State staying there. And then San Diego State and Washington State dropping down to spots. Not good for them. But anyway, let's get into the, what's happening. Gonzaga staying that number 1 overall seed, as we obviously know. Whoops. And we obviously know they're near the field. Syracuse. Man, Jim bringing his team into the field. They weren't in it last video that I made. New Mexico State's going to jump up to a 13 seed. You should watch out for them. That could be upset territory against Ohio State. St. Bonaventure's dropping down to 6. Memphis. Whoops. Sorry, guys. Did not mean to click on St. Bonaventure's. They're playing SIE right now, whatever that stands for. But Memphis dropping down to 3. And then Michigan State dropping down to 7, as well as Florida dropping down to 10. Baylor jumping up to number 2, and then Colgate dropping down to 15. Now in the East region, Michigan getting that 1 seed back. They were just right there last tournament. Best Big Ten team in the tournament last year. Then 16, Yale dropping down. Notre Dame dropping down to 9. Florida State jumps up to 5. Then Indiana jumps up to 7, and then Colorado State jumps up to 10. In the Midwest region, Virginia jumping up to 8, and then Richmond dropping down to 9, flipping spots there. North Carolina drops down to 6. St. Mary's also drops down to 11. Georgia State jumps up to 14, and Louisville drops down to 10. Then in the South, Virginia Tech jumps up to 8. Maryland jumps up to 5. South Dakota State jumps up to 13. UConn jumps up to 6. Furman jumps up to 14. BYU jumps up to 10. Texas drops down to 2. Disappointing for Texas, the Longhorns. And then Iona jumps up to 15. So let's get into the bracketology. So, starting out with our first 4 games, we're going to start out with St. John's against Rutgers. I think that Rutgers is going to be able to win this game. Big Ten team coming off a win. That should be interesting. I could see either of those teams winning that one, though. Texas Southern against Morgan State. I'll pick Texas Southern. Really a coin flip on those, though. San Diego State against Washington State. That's difficult. I'm going to go San Diego State, though. I trust them more than Washington State. Then Bryant against Nicholas State. I will go with Bryant. So let's get into the bracketology now. Starting out with Gonzaga against Texas Southern. I think Gonzaga will win that game. We got LSU against Syracuse. Interesting matchup. 8 versus 9 could go either way. I'm going to go with the 8 seed, though. LSU, I just trust them more than the 9 seed, but I could definitely see Jim bringing the Syracuse team to a win there. Oregon against Buffalo. Oof. I don't think Buffalo's going to upset Oregon. I'm going to go with the 5 seed. Ohio State against New Mexico State. I'm going to go with the upset here. New Mexico State, the 13 seed. I like this team. They've been in tournaments in the past. They're always that sneaky team that you got to watch out for. Ohio State got upset last year. I picked them to go to the Elite Eight. It was the wrong call as they got upset by a 15 seed. I think they get upset again by the number 13 seed, New Mexico State. And our first big upset happens there. I don't think there'll be an upset here, though. I think St. Bonaventure's moves on past Colorado. Memphis, I think, beats Wright State. And then Florida against Michigan State. I'll see Michigan State moving on. And Baylor against Colgate. I'll see Baylor. So only one upset in that region. A big one. And then in this region, Michigan against Yale. I think Michigan will win. Xavier against Notre Dame. Notre Dame keeps getting better, but I think they drop one to Xavier, the 8 seed. Florida State against Belmont. I'm going to go with the 12 seed. Upset here. Belmont, they've been in the tournaments in the past. They're a very good team. Belmont, I like a lot, and I think they upset Florida State. Arkansas against Liberty. I could definitely see Liberty pulling off the upset, but I'm going to go with Arkansas in that game. Auburn against Rutgers. The 11 seed of Rutgers. I'm going to go with the 11 seed here. The Rutgers coming off that whatever you call the first, I forgot what it's called for some reason, but the game against the first 4 or whatever. Rutgers, I think, actually beats Auburn, upsets due to that extra little experience. And now we got a 12 seed and an 11 seed upsetting in this region. Duke, I don't think will get upset. They move on past Southern Utah. Indiana against Colorado State. I'm going to go with the 10 seed here, beating Indiana, Colorado State in that game. And then Villanova, I think, will be able to handle their business against Vermont. Then over here, Kansas against Winthrop. I'm going to go with Kansas in the first round. Virginia against Richmond. Another one of these very tough. These are some tough 8 versus 9, and these would be some very interesting games to watch. I'm going to go with the 8 seed, though. Virginia, I think they'll be able to win. Tennessee against UAB. I'm going to go with another 12 seed. UAB, we obviously know Tennessee's prone to upsets in the first round. I think it happens again against UAB, who I trust that team right there. Houston, though, I think will be able to beat UC Santa Barbara. North Carolina against St. Mary's. I'm going to go with the 11 seed, another 11 seed. That's my second one of this tournament. St. Mary's beating North Carolina. I like the St. Mary's team in that West Coast Conference. I think they'll be able to upset North Carolina. Then Kentucky, I think, will be able to beat Georgia State. Louisville, could we see the upset? I'm not going to go with that. I think Texas Tech beats Louisville. And then Purdue, I think, will be able to beat Northeastern. All right, moving on over here, we got UCLA against Bryant. I'm going to go with UCLA. West Virginia against Virginia Tech. I'm going to go with my first 9 seed win. I think West Virginia beats with Virginia Tech. But another one of these, all these games I could see going either way at that 8 versus 9. Maryland against San Diego State. I don't see the upset there. I'm going to go Maryland. Alabama against South Dakota State. Man, that is... Watch out for South Dakota State. I'm not going to go with it there, though. I like Alabama. UConn against Loyola Chicago. Loyola Chicago, you can't bet off on Loyola Chicago the way they've been playing lately. I'm going Loyola Chicago, the 11 seed. So that's 3 11 seed upsets. Who was the one that survived? St. Bonaventure's, so I think, is the only one that's going to survive to Colorado right there. Illinois against Furman. I'm going to pick Illinois in that game. USC against BYU. I want to go with BYU as my team, but I like USC in that game. And then Texas, I will pick over Iona. So then for a spot in the Sweet 16, Gonzaga gets LSU, sorry. I'll pick Gonzaga. Oregon against New Mexico State. No, I'm going to go Oregon. That's New Mexico State. I think it's just going to be happy they upset Ohio State in that round. St. Bonaventure's against Memphis. Very interesting matchup. Last 6 seed remaining. I'm going to go. This is tough. I'm going to go Memphis. That is a tough one, but I think Memphis avoids the upset and wins that game. Baylor, I don't think gets upset by Michigan State, but I could see that upset happen. And then in this round, Michigan against Xavier. I don't think that Xavier gets upset in the second round. Michigan, I think, moves on. Belmont against Arkansas. I don't think Belmont wins that one, but Arkansas, be wary. They have 2 tough matchups against Liberty and Belmont. Rutgers against Duke. I'm going to go with Duke. And Colorado State against Villanova. I'm going to actually go... No, I'm going to go Villanova. That's a tough one, though. So we got all 1 through 4 moves on in that region. This region, 1 through 3 and a 5 move on. So similar. Not a lot of upsets so far in this round. But then I'll go Kansas there. UAB against Houston. I'm going to go UAB. Keeping you on your toes. UAB, I don't trust Houston. I think they're overrated for that number 4 seed. I think they could very much get upset by UC Santa Barbara. And then UAB, a very difficult team for you to be able to beat. I think UAB makes it to the Sweet 16 and beats Houston. St. Mary's against Kentucky. I don't see St. Mary's pulling off the second upset in a row. I'm going to go Kentucky. And then Purdue against Texas Tech. I'm going to actually go with the 7th seed, Texas Tech. Looking good this postseason. You've looked at them in the past. They made the national championship a few years back. So I think that Texas Tech pulls off a massive upset over Purdue and moves on to the next round. So now we got a little bit of a chaos going on in that region. UCLA against West Virginia. I'm going to go UCLA. Maryland against Alabama. Difficult decision, but I'm going to go the 5 seed Maryland in that matchup. So now there's only 1 4 seed remaining in Arkansas, which I very much can see them losing. Loyola Chicago gets Illinois, a rematch. Illinois, I don't think, loses again. They lost last year. I do think Loyola Chicago is a very strong candidate to make in the next round, but Illinois will be ready for that matchup. They don't want to get upset again. And then USC against Texas. I'm going to go Texas in that round to move on. All right, and now for a spot in the Elite 8, we have Gonzaga against Oregon. Watch out, Gonzaga. Oregon's a good team, but I'm going to go Gonzaga in that game to move on. Could we see a rematch between Baylor and Gonzaga in the Elite 8? I'm actually going to crush some people's dreams here on that rematch. I'm going to go Memphis. Yes, I think that the number 3 seed could very well be upset by number 6 St. Bonaventure's, but Memphis, I think, beats Baylor, moves on to battle it out against Gonzaga in that Elite 8. Gonzaga fans probably taking a sigh of relief. They don't want to play Baylor again after what happened. Then Michigan against Arkansas. I'm going to go Michigan. And then Duke against Villanova. Difficult decision here. I'm going to go with the 2 seed, though. Villanova, I think that they'll be able to win that game. Kansas against UAB. I think UAB's Cinderella story comes to a close against Kansas. But then I'm going to go Texas Tech, the 7th seed. I think they beat a very tough Purdue team, a very tough Louisville team in the first round, and then beat Kentucky to move on to the Elite 8 to battle it out against Kansas. I think that Texas Tech is too low for number 7, and I think that they get a huge upset over Kentucky and Purdue. And then over here, in this race, UCLA against Maryland. Obviously, we saw UCLA's good year this last season. But I'm going to go the 5 seed, Maryland, pulling off, letting the first 1 seed go down. Maryland, underrated team at number 5. Watch out for them, though. They'll be able to beat UCLA, in my opinion, and move on. Then Illinois gets Texas. I'm actually going to go Illinois, the team I picked to win the national championship last year. I think beats Texas and moves on to the Elite Eight to battle it out against Maryland. Now chaos is brewing on this right side of the bracket. The left side pretty normal. We only have one versus 2 matchup here. But Gonzaga against Memphis. I'm gonna go Gonzaga. As much as I want to see the Memphis Elite Eight appearance, I don't think it happens. Michigan against Villanova. Oof. Next we go the 2 seed, Villanova. I think they make another appearance to the Final Four and battle out Gonzaga. That's a tough one, though. I could very much see Michigan making it to the the Final Four, but they're going to fall just short again of that sweet Final Four. Kansas against Texas. I don't think that Kansas gets upset there, so I'm going to go Kansas and end Texas Tech's Cinderella story. In Texas Tech making it farther in the bracket than Texas, losing to Illinois. Then Maryland against Illinois. Could we see the 5 seed Maryland battle of the Big Ten? I'm going to go Illinois, though. I think Illinois is the better team in general, and they'll be able to beat out Kansas in that game. And then for a spot in the national championship game, 2 huge matchups. Gonzaga against Villanova. I'm going to go Gonzaga. I don't think Villanova upsets. I think Villanova I wouldn't normally put Villanova in the Final Four, but they got the right matchups to get in there. And then Kansas against Illinois. I'm going to go... Oh, I can't. I think I'm going to go to the number 1 seeds to make it to the Final Four. So Gonzaga gets a rematch at that national championship game. And I am going to go with Gonzaga. I got to be honest. Gonzaga. Last year, Baylor was very much in attention to take Gonzaga. I don't think Kansas is enough to beat Gonzaga. I think Gonzaga this year is clearly the number 1 team and will be able to beat Kansas. So anyway, guys, thank you all for watching this video today. Hope you all enjoyed the video. This is, like I said, this is some of my favorite things to do throughout the year. Do bracketology and do once March Madness is my favorite sporting event just in general. It's going to be interesting. Hopefully my number 10, wherever they are, number 10 BYU can make it farther than the they can get a win. But anyway, guys, thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed the content, and peace